Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Clash of Comrades November Knockout conclusion stream. We're going to be doing the semifinals today, the bronze match today, and the grand finals. My name is Captain Fogg, and as always, I am joined by my lovely team of panelists and casters. First up is LeConte. LeConte, how's it going today?
Good evening. It is going fine. We have some finals. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
All right, we have Valantly up next. Valantly is going to be doing our analysis. Valantly, how's it going? Valantly. I think he's muted. Oh well. All right, Best Tea Maker we have. Our hype caster as always. Best Tea, how's it going?
Hi, as you can see, I'm not muted. I'm doing fine.
And last but not least, Hunter, my co-caster, been with us since the beginning. How's it going today, Hunter?
It's good, thank you. Good stuff. Looking forward to the games.
Alrighty, well, we're going to start off with our new player tutorial because we know there are some people here who do not know how this game is played. So we're going to switch into that right now. In Tooth and Tail, players control commanders and start out with one gristmill. Around this gristmill, there are 8 plots of land which you can use to place farms. And the farms are going to generate food for you automatically over time. These farms produce food, and the food can be used to buy warrens. And the warrens, in turn, will produce the units that you control and fight your opponent with during the game. It's about 20 units in the game right now. The game is over when you destroy your opponent's last gristmill. There's a lot of different strategies. Let's go ahead and look at the brackets as they stand right now. Here we go. This is what we have. We had fantastic quarterfinals yesterday. We had Deadbones versus Chew. Deadbones coming out on top of that. With a 3-0 sweeping that series. We had Classic Metal in an absolutely clenching series against CJ. It's going to be our first match, Deadbones Classic. And then, of course, Xeno Coop. Xeno Coop coming out just barely ahead of that. It was exciting. And AV Ultima in the last slot of the semifinals. First up, we're going to have Deadbones versus Classic Metal. Let's go ahead and take a look at these two players. We're going to pass it off to Bestie, who's going to tell us.
Hello? Okay. Hey guys. Hi, I'm Best Team Maker. I did a lot of the stats for this tournament here. Classic Metal versus Deadbones, as you can see. So Classic Metal, really one of the only people that basically uses lizards in his own composition here. Usually we see him with squirrels in past tournaments, but in this one he's been favoring a lot of the lizards throughout this one. You can see a 91% pick rate. In the meantime, Deadbones with a 96% pick rate with the squirrels there. Nice and steady and true for himself. He's also picked up Boar a lot lately for Deadbones' side, but he hasn't been using it much lately in his more recent top 8 games. And meanwhile, Classic Metal has very rarely taken tier 3s in his own picks, only sometimes picking up the Badger. But in the meantime, you can see he loves his crowd control. He's going with the Skunks as his favorite tier 2 unit. Meanwhile, Deadbones going with the aerial vision of the Falcons, trying to take things over with aerial might. And Deadbones really the only person in this entire top 4 who enjoys using balloons, while everyone else loves their machine gun nests.
I think it's a pretty signature pick for Deadbones, is that balloon for the vision and the zone control. It also denies scouting a lot. And I think the interesting part about this matchup is Deadbones preferring his squirrels, whereas Classic Metal has, for the entirety of the playoffs, almost always picking up the lizards, which, as we saw yesterday, requires him to play around toads well, and if he can do that, then he can win with those lizards against a squirrel matchup.
Although, one thing I'm a little concerned about with Classic Metal going with a very heavy lizard lineup is that Deadbones can pretty much easily counter it just by going toads. So it's going to require a lot of on Classic Metal's part to just avoid getting blown up by those toads. And toads, they've been a huge pick throughout this tournament. The 4th most picked unit throughout the entire thing.
All right, well,
yesterday, if you remember the matches versus CJ Ross played Toads, I think, every game there. And you could say something about the micro EV player, but he did manage to come ahead in those matches, even while fielding Lizards this whole time. So maybe he'll be able to do it against Deadbones today. We'll see.
Yeah, there was that one game I think where they both had Toads in their lineup, and that very last fight, in the fights before in that game, Classic Metal kept losing his lizards to the Toad Rush from CJ. But then as soon as he had like Toads in his army again, he actually migrated his Toads ahead of his lizards. So the Toads would come in contact with each other and cancel each other out, and this just allowed Classic Metal to swarm all over CJ Ross's units with the lizards. So he has the knack to do it for sure.
All right. Well, let's get quick predictions right now. Lecante, who do you think is going to win this setup here, this semifinal match?
I am rooting for Classic Metal just so he can not play a bronze match for once.
All right. Best team together, who you taking to come out of this semifinals match of Classic Metal versus Deadbones?
I want to root for Classic Metal, but Deadbones, just by sheer stats alone, he's been dominating this entire tournament, and every single matchup they had against each other, which seems to happen every single tournament, Deadbones always comes out the victor. So I'm going to put my hat in Deadbones' side.
All right. Hunter, who do you think is going to come out on top in this semifinals matchup?
I think Deadbones has been performing really well this patch, so I'm going to have to go with him.
All right. And I'm going to throw in my own vote for Deadbones in this first semifinals match. I believe we're ready to start looking at this game here. We're going to go ahead and jump into this match